Hello everyone, this is Ben with Income Options Trading, and today we're going to look at the Lookback Backtesting tool by tastytrade. So this isn't out yet to the public. I am one of the beta testers. Tomorrow on tastytrade, Dr. Data is going to go over this. I thought I'd give you a sneak peek, and then hopefully next week this is pushed out to the public so everyone can use it. You can either use it on Tastyworks through the Tastyworks, or excuse me, the tastytrade tab, or if you have a tastytrade account on the web, which is free, you can log in there and use it on the internet once this goes live. So here's the look of the homepage here. So just going to scroll through some of the pictures here of what it looks like. So here's the backtesting results page. There's a forecasted profit and loss on a particular position. There's also statistics on how a trade behaves, similar to the analysis tool on Tastyworks. It's showing the same thing there. And then also a bunch of stock tickers with the active options chain that's available now for you to pick your strikes. So you can see that there are analysis on single or multi-leg trades, so you can do this for whatever trade you want to use. There is a whole bunch of information out there. I think there is 15 years of data that this program uses. So I'm just going to walk through here. Going to click the Start Now button. So it brings you to this page, and you can use any symbol you want. I'm just going to use the NASDAQ, which is the QQQ, and it brings up the chain here. So if you're going to look at putting on a new trade now, you can go in here and set it up and see how it's going to look. So I'm just going to start out by selling a 30 delta put. So on here it's the 350 strike in September. So I'm just going to click the bid. So -1, I'm selling 1. So now I'm going to go to the forecasted profit and loss. And this should update. And this is where the Qs have been over the last 6 months. You can see the date, open, high, low, close up in here as you hover over each candle. And then this cone here is the a theoretical if you are going to be making money or losing money. So depending on where the Qs go in this situation, you can see up over on the left hand side as I move my mouse, the date changes, and if I go up and down, the price changes along with the expected return. So this is kind of handy where you can see what your return is based on where the price goes. And I don't think this includes volatility, so if the price drops, the return might actually be a little worse, or the loss would be higher because of the increase in vol, because this is a short put. But I am not totally sure on that. Dr. Data might talk about that. So then if we go to the Analysis tab, here I have the P&L expiration, which is the yellow line. The blue is by date. You can also switch on the delta and the theta if I want to. Right now I have slide by date. So I can slide this by the date, and you can see the curve, the P&L on the day gets closer and closer to the expiration curve. And then on the x-axis is the price. So you can see, depending on what the price is, where exactly your break even is theoretically. You can also slide by price. So then The x-axis down here is date. And if I want to change the price of the Qs, I do this and it changes over here. It's the same type of setup. So now I clicked the statistics portion of the analysis tab here, and you can see that you have this orange checkbox for cumulative percentage and P&L bell curve, which is this magenta color. So magenta color gives you a bell curve for where your option strategy will be on a particular date. So if I move the slider to the right, you can see that this date moves up in time, and as I do that, this bell curve gets wider and wider because as time goes on, the Qs can move further in one direction or the other. So you can see that, you know, one day in, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be pretty tight wrapped around wherever you sold it. And as you go out in time, depending on what the NASDAQ does, it's going to either move to closer to full expiration or full profit, or it could be further down. And then this cumulative percentage is the percent chance that you're at basically this number or to the right. So on August 27th, for example, on this particular strategy, you have a 94% chance that you are losing 1.47 thousand, or you are doing better, meaning you are either losing less or making money. So basically, you have a 70% chance that you're still at break even, and a 20% chance that the NASDAQ has ripped higher and you're at full profit at this time. So this is kind of cool to see. You can see as the further you go out, this orange line dips, meaning that the tails get a little wider for these really large losses, and that's partly why tastytrade likes to manage before you get into the last 2 weeks of the trade, because otherwise this becomes more prominent. You can see earlier on there's basically 0% chance that you're at this large of a loss. So it's kind of cool to play around with. The chain forecasted profit and loss analysis is all based on whatever strategy you selected from the chain. Now we're going to go to the backtest tool here. So here in the backtest tool, you can see the option that I selected back from the chain. I'm actually going to delete that one. Down here we have add a leg and configure backtest parameters. So I'm just going to set up a backtest here, and I'm going to add a leg of a strategy. So number of contracts less than 0 to sell. So I'm going to sell 1 contract, so -1. And then I can either choose a put or a call. So I'll do a put. Delta, this has to be a positive whole number. So I'll do a 30 delta put. And then days to expiration, I'll do 60. And click OK. Then I'm going to do the same thing except on the call side. So I'm going to go -1, go to call, 30 delta call, 60 days out. So this is your classic 30 delta strangle, 60 days out type position on the Qs. I'm going to configure backtest parameters, and here you can choose to manage the trade how you want. So you can take profits early. So you can either hold to expiration, take it at a % of debit credit, or at a certain credit number. So tastytrade does typically 50% for strangles, so I'll do that. Stop loss, you can put never at a % debit credit or at a particular dollar value. They've said you can either hold strangles to expiration or do a 2x loss as a stop loss, and those have about the same expectancy. So if you were to do that, I would do at percent, and I would do at 200%. This would give you a 2x loss. And then finally, the exit at a certain DTE, which is days of expiration. I'm going to exit at 21 days. You can go down a little bit closer to 0, but what you'll see is the closer you get to 0, you will start to lose some expectancy because of the gamma. But this is kind of cool because you can play around with different parameters and see why the tastytrade mechanics are what they are. So I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to click Run Backtest. So now it gives you a backtest, and then this one goes back to 2004, so 17 years of data. And you can see this 30 delta strangle, how it would have done over the years with those certain parameters. So you can see 213 trades, max loss of $471, which isn't bad at all. Average premium collected, average profit per trade, and now I'm realizing that this is this must be in options value, so this would actually be $47,000. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Actually, I wonder. No, so these must be in nominal actual value dollars, not option numbers. So these would be 471 actual dollars, 366 actual dollars. Average profit per trade is $6.47 over the long haul. Average is almost 17.8 days in a trade, almost 18, and your average profit per day is 36 cents. So you can go back and change up your configure, your back test. Unfortunately, and this is something that I gave feedback on, when you hit that back button, at least right now in the beta, you lose your configuration. So you have to re-put in whatever. So then if we, hold to expiration, never stop loss, never exit the trade, we run the back test, we can compare how that one lasts. So actually, this one did better. It's 58 cents per day. I think the other one was 36 cents. But you can see this was in 2020 with the COVID. You can see this volatility year, how much that came down. So a stop loss and holding to expiration really hurt you here. But with that recovery, you got back to where you were before pretty quickly. So that's the look back tool. Hopefully this comes out to the public soon so you guys can play around with it. But I think it's pretty cool for those who are interested in back testing. This is a pretty quick software. Nice thing is that it's going to be free, so you don't have to purchase it. The limitations are there, but I think this is a pretty good backtesting tool for most people. So hopefully you like this video. If you did, hit a thumbs up, hit a subscribe. That would be awesome. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks.